What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today, we're looking at a receiver who I think is doomed for the 2020 fantasy football season. Keenan Allen has been a wide receiver 1 in PPR leagues the past 3 seasons, but in 2020, I don't see a scenario in which the combination of Tyrod Taylor and 6th overall pick Justin Herbert lead Allen to the wide receiver 1 promised land. Allen is currently ranked 15th overall on ESPN.com and as the 18th wide receiver on Fantasy Pros. I believe Allen won't live up to those rankings and will be vastly overdrafted. I also think Allen's draft stock will rise. He has been just shy of 1,200 yards the past 2 seasons with around 100 catches, and he had 1,300 yards 2 seasons ago with 6 touchdowns. One problem I have with Keenan Allen as a fantasy option is in the past, he's been inconsistent. In 2019, Keenan Allen finished as wide receiver number 6 in PPR leagues. The question you need to ask is, how did Keenan Allen get to number 6? Keenan Allen's 2019 week-by-week finishes break down like this. How I'll be ranking it is a wide receiver 1 is anyone who finished the week at the 1 position through 12. Wide receiver 2 would be 13 through 24, and a wide receiver 3 would be anyone that finished the week 25th or worse. Keenan Allen was a wide receiver 1 4 times, a wide receiver 2 4 times. So half your season, 8 games, is a wide receiver 2 or better. That's really great. But where Keenan Allen kills you is the weeks where he finishes worse than 25th as a wide receiver 3 or even worse, which he did that 8 times. And when he did it, he finished a week at 59, 60, and 58th. I mean, that's really bad. That's a dud performance. And not to mention in 2019, he was a wide receiver 3 or worse in 6 straight weeks from weeks 4 to 9. So if he was your, wide receiver 1, if you went RB and fell into Keenan Allen as your wide receiver 1, he really killed you last year because he didn't win you very many games from week 4 to week 9. Do we think that Tyrod Taylor is going to be the guy who gets Keenan Allen, 100 catches, over 1,000 yards, and 6 touchdowns? I tend to think not, since in Taylor's career as a starter, he has maxed out at 20 passing touchdowns and has never broken 3,100 passing yards in a season. Look at Taylor's career stats on the screen. Seasons of 14, 17, and a whopping 20 touchdowns as a career high. In Taylor's career, he's only had one 1,000-yard receiver, that was Sammy Watkins, and his next highest receiver was Robert Woods with 613 yards in a season. In Philip Rivers' career, the lowest amount of touchdowns he's thrown in one season was 23, more than Tyrod Taylor's career high. If we compare last season Philip Rivers, easily his worst NFL season, to the career best stats for Tyrod Taylor, regardless of year, so pulling together, whatever his highest number for each category is and making the best stat line possible, Rivers still had a better passing season. In 2019, Rivers attempted 591 passes compared to Tyrod Taylor's 436. That's 160 more attempts. Rivers' completions, just under 400 at 390. Tyrod Taylor, 269, 120 less. Yardage, Rivers passed for 4,600 yards last season, and Tyrod Taylor's career high is just over 3,000. That's 1,600 more yards. That's over 60 a game. And Philip Rivers' career low in touchdown passes in a season was last year with 23. Tyrod Taylor's career high is 20 in a season. You may be saying, well, Justin Herbert will be the starter sometime in the season, and that's completely true, you're totally right, but is a rookie quarterback a good thing for fantasy football? Last season, 4 rookies started for their teams the majority of the year. Kyler Murray started every game, Daniel Jones started I believe 13 or 14 games, Gardner Minshew started 12, and Dwayne Haskins started in 7. So for these 4 rookie quarterbacks, let's look at their best fantasy wide receiver. Kyler Murray was Larry Fitzgerald at wide receiver 35, with Christian Kirk at 38, so really near each other. Daniel Jones was Darius Slayton with wide receiver 37 in PPR leagues, and Daniel Jones I make a little exception I guess because Golden Tate was suspended and Sterling Shepard did have injuries, but 37 was Darius Slayton at the highest. Gardner Minshew was DJ Chark at number 17, actually had a pretty good year, and Dwayne Haskins' best receiver was Terry McLaurin at wide receiver 29. Out of the 5 receivers you have here, only 1 finished as a wide receiver 2, and the rest finished outside of a wide receiver 3. By me making this video, I'm not trying to say that Keenan Allen is a bad receiver, because I actually think the complete opposite. I think he's a very good NFL player, very good receiver. I mean, one of the best route runners in the entire NFL, great hands, and one of those guys that brings it every week that I really appreciate. It's just a really tough situation for him this year in fantasy. Keenan Allen has never been a high touchdown guy in his career. The past 3 seasons, he has 6 touchdowns in each. I believe the combination of Tyrod Taylor and Justin Herbert won't be able to provide Keenan Allen the volume he needs to stay fantasy relevant, which, if he's not getting double-digit touchdowns, will have to be 100 catches and pushing, over 1,100 yards. So with all that being said, I think Keenan Allen is doomed for the 2020 fantasy football season. So that's it for Keenan Allen. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more fantasy football content and football content in general. If you have any interest, I have done ranking videos on my top, 1 through 12 receivers, my wide receiver 1s, and my running backs 1s and 2s. And I made a couple videos on Cooper Kupp and Derrick Henry. So check those out down below, or there'll be a notification at the top. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.